Whew, we got good crop rotation this year on this road. One of my favorite roads. We've got, you can see a timber line right here with a pole, evergreens crossing the road, and there's always just a beat down phenomenal trail coming across. We'll have one normally by this evergreen, one on the bottom, and then two going up to the next hill. So really good spot, you know, but only when it's corn. When this is beans, basically I have one spot down here on the bottom, and that's pretty much it. So great spot. We're kind of out here in the open. Used to be a great 220 trail until they put a house on the other side of the road. Well, we have not made it very far. About 150 yards from where that last one was. Man, this road is awesome. Every other year it's phenomenal. On the off years I'll set this one location just because it's a low spot, but now we're far enough away. Oh yeah, beautiful. We're going to capitalize on some 220s on this, so it's looking good, guys, and each one of these trees should have something along them too, hopefully anyway. Well, we got some company. Guy drove up real slow next to me. I can tell he's curious what I'm doing. Now he's turned around, now he's right behind me, so we'll mislead him and pretend I'm setting this location even though there's nothing here, or normally isn't anything here. Well, we're now on that road that you guys watched the county clean me out last year. Hopefully, I don't know if there's even gonna be trails here or not, but oh yeah, it looks like it. Trail's still here, but not much left on this side. At least they mowed it before I got here anyway. It's not as prevalent, but you can definitely see some footprints here since the rain. Oh yeah, that's pretty decent actually. We'll be able to get a 220 up down under here, up down over here. Yeah, that makes sense, right? But worth one anyway. Wow, right underneath the pine tree. Yeah, that was a pretty good one. I normally catch a skunk here every year too, so that's even a plus. My wife would strongly disagree, but I think it's a plus. Oh wow, just shredded with trash, go figure. But you can definitely see the trail still right down through the cut grass even. Someone threw a whole trash bag out here, it looks like, but probably just set with 220 on the other side. But this has mowed and exposed it is. This is actually a very, very high traveled road. We'll probably just set the other side. Wow. I've never seen it this dry before. This normally has good water in it. You can see right here, the kind of packed down spot. That's where your coon are traveling. We'll probably throw a couple dog proofs in here, but man, that's just crazy. That is just crazy. We're definitely dry, guys. I mean, we even got about 1.5 inches of rain the other day and it didn't do anything. Not a thing. Mowed grass and all, it don't matter. I'm talking about when I say, you know, look from the shoulder. If this is taller grass, you can be kind of coming across and genuinely see that little low spot. But man, what a trail. It's pretty open, but we're gonna try to force a pair of dog proofs in here. It's way too open for 220s. Unless I check the other side of the road and it's got something way better to show me. Other than lots and lots of little footprints. We might be able to squeeze a 220 right in there, but boy, I highly doubt it. Probably worth a pair of dog proofs. This is what I don't like to see. If you can see up there, there's two dogs running down pretty much the center of the road, or on the shoulder I should say. This is a creek system that I want to check out. We trapped it for beaver last year. Didn't do very good last year, but the year before, I think we took 4 off this. It was about 4 foot deep. Barely made it across the actual channel with my hip boots. And with the inch of rain we got the other day, makes kind of a channel at least. Pretty low here, guys. However, you can see the muddy trail coming of raccoons coming through it still. Oh yeah, I knew they'd be here regardless of the water. So but yeah, probably end up trying to throw some dog proofs in here. I would like to use some footholds, you know, try and shoot for some mink and everything else, but knowing that we have 2 dogs running down this road, best throw some dog proofs. Oh, some tables here that some nice people added. Well, I'll tell you what, some people, but anyway, pretty stagnant really. You can see kind of the oil slick from the runoff of crops or whatever it is. Wow. I mean, you can see the coon trail at least, but man, that's just disappointing. No water hardly at all whatsoever to speak of. Well, probably a 3 dog proof location. Might rain by the things change, but I will not pre-stake this until right before we set it, because you know it's dry and crap right now, but if we were to get 4 or 5 days with some good rain or 1.5 inch rain a day, this could quickly become 3 foot deep again. So we're gonna mark it down, do a square box to mark it as a crick system, and then that way when I come through later on, we'll figure out what we're gonna set here. But if I was setting tomorrow, we're gonna put 3 dog proofs down there. I bet we have 3 coon. Oh, there's a little more water on the next section over this creek, but still not enough to really justify anything. But for those curious what a high bank trail is, I've talked about them before. This is your high bank trail. It's kind of hard to tell right now. Coming right along, and it actually goes right along the top of this bank. A lot of times these bigger creeks will actually have them on both sides. Great locations to catch coon. This one goes down underneath. I'm sure it comes back up on high bank on the other side. Yeah, you can actually kind of see it through here and come up on those trees there. Ooh, actually, whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. There we go. That is mud. I like that. Yeah, we're gonna be at least setting up top here a little bit. Do have some beaver chewed sticks floating around right there too, so gotta be beaver in here somewhere, but where at? Who knows right now. When you find a pocket of them, I think you're gonna find a bunch, but definitely worth setting on this one. Couple big does down here. Real big does. Every once in a while I'll find those trails where I'm just like, damn. Damn. Solid mud going through this tube. We've got 1 220 location, 2 220 locations. Man, that's awesome. This wasn't that good last year. Granted, it was beans, but I did pick up a bobcat in a 220 here probably 4 years ago. Still, I don't know how I can remember that, but like I said, I can lose the remote in 5 minutes. So, but anyway, phenomenal trail. The tube on the other side goes well past the row, so I can't get to it. But man, guys, this is beautiful. Great spot here coming out of this tube. I trap this every year, even when that's beans up there. It's the good year of corn, but something I want you guys to keep in mind, this kind of goes underneath and the trail goes into the tube here. Nice land trail going down to it. On the other side of this little farm entrance, we have a trail coming through and what appears to be going into that tube as well. And you can see all the trail on top going from side to side even. So kind of unique spot. I think there's probably skunks or something living underneath this. I catch a lot of skunks here. My buddy Todd in Minnesota, that's something I'm gonna hopefully pick up on this year and set a lot more of these culverts going under the roads, seeing what's living underneath them. So great spot, probably worth 3 dog proofs here. We got a house about 75 yards from me, so it kind of limits me, but great location. Hard to beat that. That is just a phenomenal. It's really wide. It almost looks like deer, but where it drops off that basically a cliff over there, it can't be. Yeah, we got some canine tracks in it as well. However, this is a spot where I have to use a dog proof. People up here on my left, they got a big dog up there. Actually a really mean dog too. Not sure where it comes across on this side. We're gonna have to do some looking, but I used to sit right there at the mouth of this culvert, but once I learned to set them going up over the road, because they can't go through that tube, I did a lot better. But normally they got a trail over there close to it, but I am not seeing it on this side. I told you guys I'm gonna do some private land trapping too. This is actually a bridge I never stop at because you get a lot of people camping and fishing off this. I mean, they even drive down next to it. Never really stopped here. I figured there'd be a lot of theft, kind of a big local spot, but picked up ground to trap on this. All the fields to the timber over there and on the other side for probably, I don't know, half mile. So hopefully we're gonna get some canine sets out on it second and third week, as well as set this up for beaver and anything else on it. Not a lot of water right now, so they're gonna be pretty concentrated, but looking forward to doing something a little different. You know, we'll see what happens, but hopefully knock out a bunch of coon early and we can start having some fun. Well, here we're at a spot. I've trapped it before. There's normally some water in here, but there's a bunch of brush down in here. You know, you can't see any real visible trail. But right here on that log, you can see the amount of mud slicked up where they're dragging their bellies over it. That's all I need. That's all I need to know that there's coon traveling this. You know, it's not a real determined trail going through this. It's matted down from probably some water at one point, but there's not just that perfect trail like I just showed you here probably a little bit ago. But that right there, that sign tells me all I need to know that they're still moving through here in good quantities. So you're not always going to have that mud beat down trail to look at. You know, look for those subtle things too, because maybe the terrain's not going to allow for that mud trail. A lot of debris, a lot of sticks down here. We'll probably try to move some of this out of the way, get one down here, and I'll probably try and put one up in there. Good little location. We've got to watch we're out in the road though, because this location, the road is pretty close to the road, so not a whole lot of room to play with, but still a great spot. Boy, we're getting a lot of stuff mapped out. Last year I had 700 locations throughout the season. Right now we're probably, I think this is 335, and we're just scratching the surface, guys. Well, here's something you don't see every day. One very well defined trail, one even better defined trail, and probably the best defined trail, and yet another good trail. 4 of these suckers side by side, all going underneath one cedar tree. So that's where we're setting. This here is one of those trails that's just been here for years and years and years. I love setting this spot. I mean, it almost looks more like an otter slide than a coon trail. The other side, probably almost better. I mean, you can just see not just the grass wore out, but just beat down. And we got our perfect 220 location right there. Got timber on the right, corn on the left. We're gonna go down here and find that tube. There she be. Trap this every other year. That's another good road. It's definitely my good crop rotation year. This is my 60% corn, 40% beans roughly. So I'm looking forward to that one. Got a mature hardwoods. It's an actual new fence line here. That wasn't here last year. The fence was, but they redid it. Hay bales, mature hardwoods with a fence line coming right down to it. And every year, right here, it produces a really nice trail. So hard to make out here probably. Let's see if we can get down here where my foot is. That is what we're looking for. It's also a type of spot you'll catch cats on. I have caught one cat in a 220 trail here 3 years ago. So it's definitely possible. We got canopy for one here and probably a second one there. So 220s. I love my 220 locations. Did really good at this spot last year. Another mature hardwoods. Well, that fence line's right here. But across the road, and it's just going to beans this year. Doesn't look that appealing. But if you look, you can see this trail going up the side coming out of the culvert. So we decided to set this anyway. Once those beans are out, it's going to become less appealing. But you know, I'm always willing to try a new, you know, set it and see what happens. Seems like certain spots that beans will still produce. Seems to be where there's not much corn around at all. You know, they still got to have a food source. But we'll see what happens. But that's pretty cool. Seeing that nice big coon trail running right down the side of the creek. On to some new ground. Definitely never been here before. That's some pretty big timber country down here. So kind of cool, kind of exciting. Seeing a lot of corn. I just drove through here a little while ago, just kind of roughly looking at stuff, and yeah, looks pretty good. Pretty good. I love this location. Funny story, reason why. I have never caught a single thing at it, but I set this every year. Every year I get a trail coming between that telephone pole and corner post. And I have yet, to my knowledge, that I remember ever catching anything on this. Between dog proofs, 220s. I always set a 220 right there because I'm right at that 5 foot mark from the fence. And I never catch anything here. I don't know, but love this road. I do catch a lot on this road, and it's, I don't know, I kind of have like a little nostalgic feeling for a lot of these roads because I can turn that corner and go, man, I remember what I did here and over there. There's where I caught a bobcat, fox and a dog proof, whatever. And I'm only here, you know, for a couple weeks each year, so it's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of like seeing family at Christmas that you haven't seen for a long time. It's good to see them, but you're ready to be done in 2 weeks. I just showed you that spot up the hill here where I've never caught anything. We got a whole fence row here of cedar trees all the way down to this bottom. I did some beaver trapping down there. There's actually 4 locations between here and that hill up there. So great location, just, you know, big picture location. But this little trail here, it is extremely subtle. Not sure how well you can tell, but this location every year picks up either one big boar coon or a fox in the 220 that I will set right in there every single year, and that's it, nothing more. But for me, that's worth it, you know. And I've kind of learned that. So once we catch something, I might give it a couple more days, but then we're going to pull it, especially this year when it looks like I might have more trails than equipment, the way things are going, which is good. I thought equipment would definitely be my strongest point, but it might not be if this keeps working on it. So anyway, just want to show that to you. It is probably one of the biggest cedar trees, but you know, there's several about the same size, but you got to go really slow and almost walk this, you know, right along the edge here to find stuff like this. You know, I've spent a lot of time, a lot of hours scouting in my trapping career. So, but it's little subtle things like this that you pick up that, you know, kind of make who you are as a trapper. Well, believe it or not, this is the bridge that last year when Mark was with me, we caught a small beaver and a coon double in blind 1.5s. Not much water here, but you know, probably enough we can still set a couple blind sets in here. You can tell the tracks going out, the trail coming through here. I mean, it looks, there's no water here really, but it looks pretty good. I'm ready to set this. Someone threw a bunch of brush down here, go figure, but I'm kind of curious because this was backed up with beaver this spring, so I wonder if they moved out of here. But worth a couple dog proofs and probably a couple blind sets on this side. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say our beaver are still here. Corn stalks in here, and you can see the slide right in the middle of this little mud piece here. We're actually gonna try 220 in them right there, I think. But yeah, it's mudslide. If we cross the road, I've actually used to do some private land trapping for beaver up here. Heck, they even got a crossover on this, what looks to be like a dam. Looks like they mounted this up to be a dam down here. Well, I guess I know where we're going to be setting some beaver traps along this row trapping. I know the guy that farms this still, so I'm going to talk to him, see if we can get permission. I'd love to walk right up here and right there, blind 330. Huh. Yes. Well, my old faithful roads. Actually, believe it or not, most of us are on crop rotation. The corn just starts up there by that tree, and we got a set there, a spot in the low spot there, and here we come up on this one where you can see the trail going up through the corn, or into the corn. Great spot for it. We're gonna throw a dog proof down here and a 220 inside of this culvert. Everything's so grown up down here, guys, you really have to get down there and look. But only one road on this like 1.5 mile road, and it is awesome. If you can see up through these trees, we got a pond up here, and I found the biggest cedar tree down here, and you can see the trail coming underneath it. But man, the other side, just as sexy. A pair of 220s will fit these perfectly. Judging by the look of this new ground, it's developing nicely. Yes, guys, this is awesome. I'm pumped up. This new ground looks freaking amazing. Guess where we are? Underneath the tree, coming across to corn, over and over and over again.